It's time to step inside the Octagon with your host, Ike Feldman.
What's up, everybody? Ike freaking Feldman. Yes, it says freaking on my birth certificate. Is here bringing you another wonderful episode with another wonderful guest and somebody that has punched me in the face, strangled me. Yes, I only like to interview people that have caused bodily harm to me. And this murderer that I'm talking to this week, ahead of his Flex Fight series, I believe it's a Western theme at Stereo Garden, February 24th, Saturday. There'll be other teammates of his on the card as well, but I'm talking to none other than Adrian Del Rosario. One of my best friends' last name is Rosario as well, so we're in good company. Follow Adrian on Instagram at ADR_NY. My man, how you feeling? It is fight week. We are here.
I'm feeling good, man. It's just fight week. I've been waiting for this for some time since my last fight, so I'm just excited for the opportunity. That's only let's say six days away now, so I'm just ready to go. Excited, definitely excited for sure.
What does it mean to you? I know there's been a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations to get to this point, and God willing, it will happen. Your opponent stays on the card, you stay on the card. We know how the amateur circuit can happen, but I believe this is the will of the gods for it to finally to happen. Man, you look great. You're glowing. You look cool. Loving the haircut. Usually I'm used to seeing you sweaty, hair in your face, dodging punches, throwing punches, but it seems like everything is lining up. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Like this like you asked this one is gonna mean a lot because like you said, like since my last fight I had to go through a lot of adversity, a lot of tribulations, a lot of setbacks that occurred within since that last fight, and I'm just excited for the opportunity. Each of these opportunities is a blessing because a lot of things happen in the fight game, whether it's injuries on your part, your opponent, cancellations with maybe the promotion cancel it. So just a blessing just to have opportunity to step in that cage, and I'm ready to go.
You and I mentioned the craziness that goes on the amateur circuit. It's like so many times they'll be like, "Oh, can't wait to see your fight against Johnson," and somebody at the gym like, "No, it's not Johnson, it's Smith now," and I'm like, "Oh, okay," and they're like, "Oh, it's not Smith, it's Wilson now." It interchanges. You really see the strong from the weak as my board falls on me. That's a weak board. But you, my friend, carry yourself like a professional. And I see that in your career. I see that in your training, that the turning over every stone, making sure everything is lined up is paying off for you. How do you do that? How do you just cross your T's and dot your I's just precisely?
I think it starts with like kind of just my mindset. Just gotta in life in general, you just gotta adapt because sometimes you have a set plan, but there's always peaks and throws. It's like a wave. It could be a zigzag, and just be able to expect the unexpected and adapt to each change that potentially could happen. I'm very just easygoing. Uh, for example, like I work as a registered nurse. I don't have a home unit, so I can go to a orthopedic floor. I can go to a cardiac floor, a cancer oncology floor. In fact, they've like in that career, I've been floated like 3 times within the same shift. So, and just being adaptable, like and maintaining the task at hand, like wherever I like in nursing, I go, I'll continue to work at the same commitment as I have for the previous floor, and just I think all starts with just that mentality, and the fight games, especially like that, is training even within the fight. I think a lot of fighting is about adapting to the situation, and you just have to be ready to adapt or willing. And think that word that stems from.
Perfect word, adaptive, especially for mixed martial arts when they say like mixing the martial arts beautifully from throwing a jab, ducking under the jab, going for a takedown, doing jujitsu, fight comes back to the feet, then you're kickboxing again. Adaptive is the perfect world for what it seems your career and what you're about to do at the end of this week on Flex Fight Series, February 24th, Stereo Garden. Very pumped for that. Would you say that you're ready to adapt to any situation, or you're going to try to bottleneck the fight that it lends itself to your strengths, or is being adaptive your strength? Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I think kind of a mix of both, because like for example, the opponent I have lined up
Because you got great boxing, you got great cardio, very smooth off the clinch, like you're well rounded. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to give away the game plan.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. But like my current opponent might not even be my opponent. Like my first kickboxing amateur fight, I had a guy scheduled, and I didn't find out that my opponent changed until I got to the venue.
Oh
And I saw the name, it was completely different name. Like completely different name. He was a southpaw. I was preparing
my
for an
God.
orthodox fighter, and and he had a lot of fights. When I quickly Googled him in that time frame between when I arrived to the arena and the fight, he had a lot of fights. Fortunately, I lost that split decision, but that's part of the fight game. It's just adapting and being ready for not only like like I have a specific plan for this opponent, but also to adapt to whatever. Say this guy drops out, I might get like a different style opponent. Just being ready for all situations.
Again, we're being joined by Adrian Del Rosario on Instagram at ADR_NY. Do you have a what is it, Twitter or TikTok?
I do have a Twitter. I have to. I use it, but so my Twitter is at ADRNY_MMA. So it's a little different. I think the ADRNY was already taken, so I had to modify on that one.
We'll have to find it. Again, shout outs to you. Appreciate your time. What's your favorite part of mixed martial arts?
It's a good question. I like the kind of like the thrill of the battle. Like when I was growing up, I played a lot of sports. I was an athlete. I played a lot of pickup basketball, and when I was playing pickup basketball, I also played on varsity team. I always wanted to guard the best player. I had that desire just to test myself against the like guard the best player. And I find that in MMA, just like on I call it will versus will, skill versus skill. Just that 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 thrill of the competing.
You need your opponent to talk to be the bad guy to fire you up, or are you just simply that competitive?
I think I'm just simply that competitive. You don't know what you get with your opponent. Everyone's different personalities,
True.
whether they're respectful, whether they're trash talker. For me, it's all the same. We all got to go in, get locked in the cage, and whatever you say or are before that doesn't matter what's on the inside. When you're locked in the cage, it's about just executing and fighting.
This is a big fight for you, man.
Mm.
Big team. A lot of people are going to be cheering for you.
Mm.
How do you handle your nerves on fight week?
Just so I gotta remind myself that I prepared, I've worked hard, just kind of maintaining that mentality and knowing that I've been preparing for all situations, not to like get the moment too big for yourself. Like I'm thinking about the fight constantly,
Of course.
but not try to overthink and let the ambiance or the aura of being in the cage affect you, because sometimes when the lights are on, you could sink or swim. I try to just kind of remember I I put in the preparation and just kind of maintain a kind of stoic attitude in something that aspect.
It's 3x3s, correct?
Correct.
I mean, you have great cardio, you have great pace. You could floor the guy in the first 30 seconds. It young Damian Nelson, who's killing it, who no doubt about it should be on Dana White Contender Series, if not in the UFC by the end of the year. He was telling me advice for amateur boxing. He's like, you got to come out of the gate. It's 3x2s. You know, you got to just come out throwing. Like your first step, your second step has to be towards a jab. You have to be making contact early and often. And he was right about that. Have you, from your kickboxing experience, judges can be crazy, as we've seen from your teammate Edwin Jung. Oh my God. He's faced some horrible judging, but I believe that will only make for him a better professional, a better amateur, and he'll just look back at it as lessons. I can't leave it to the judges. Are you looking for the finish? Are you adapting towards the finish? Are you shifting the fight towards the finish? Are you just trying to dominate?
I think all it comes to adapting, because they always say when you get you don't get the finish. Like if you're looking for the finish, you most likely won't get the finish.
Like
but
the home runs, right? Like if the guy's trying to hit the home run.
So ideally, like, of course, you want to finish it quick. You want to make a statement. But like life, it's your expectations might not always be what happens. You gotta just be ready. So I'm ready to finish it early, ready for it to last 1, 2, 3 rounds. And also that knowing that that's a possibility, I kind of cater my training to that aspect. Like when I hit the bag on my own, what I do is I do 10 for 10 in the beginning. So after I do the 10 for 10, I'm a little like, it's like similar to like you get a flurry, like a combination, but you don't get it. So you still have to fight. You still have to fight. And so kind of just being able to be prepared for all type of scenarios. Like you get the finish 10 seconds, good. Or you attempt to get the finish in like 30 seconds, but you don't get it. So you gotta still have the gas to fight the remainder of the fight. So it's gotta be ready for all those opportunities. But like I said, like, and whatever it goes, I'll have to be ready for it.
Who's your favorite mixed martial artist to watch in the past, to actively watch?
Yeah, in the past, when I first want to go, Jose Aldo. I like Jose Aldo's explosive Muay Thai, his leg kicks, his head movement, and his takedown defense. He was one of the best at takedown defense. Like I remember that fight we had with Chad Mendes. I think Chad Mendes went for the takedown and he spun. And he threw that knee and finished Chad Mendes. That's one that comes out of my mind immediately. Trying to think some more.
It's crazy because did you see the fights last night?
Yes, I did. Yes. Shout out to Marab.
I was just gonna say Marab, of course. It's like MMA is different than grappling. Grappling is different than MMA. I mean, logic would tell you that Jose Aldo would go down much easier than Henry Cejudo would go down. But meanwhile, Jose Aldo is just a jiu-jitsu guy, but just has developed this incredible takedown defense. But meanwhile, the Olympic gold medalist, and no disrespect for Marab, obviously high-level grappler, high-level pace and output, but Marab grabbed up the single and then tripped the back leg. And it was like, how come he made it look so easy? And obviously that's a credit to Marab's skill and training regimen, but it was like, man, even though Henry is shorter, and maybe his legs are closer, and Aldo is a little longer, and he's got a big frame. He filled out nicely at 55, even though he ended his career at 35. It's like, man, you don't have to be an Olympic gold medalist, is my point, to be
Mm,
have great takedown defense.
mm,
I mean, you're training at Sarah's, you're
mm,
training in New York, which is
mm,
just a shark tank of young wrestlers. I'm sure you've trained with Pumi,
mm,
Marab, Aljo. It's like killers on the mat.
mm.
Um, would you say that you want to keep the fight standing, or hey, if the guillotine is there, if the Darce is there, if the Kimura is there, like again, I feel like you're so well rounded, and I'm just trying to figure out your strengths exactly.
Appreciate the yeah, but ideally, like I remember I was speaking to someone relatively recently. They say he told me like kind of stay with where you're strongest at, stay what you're good at, and I'm a striker first and foremost, so I'll keep the fight standing. But if the opportunity presents itself, I'll attempt to take it down. I'll go for a takedown, get on the ground. I've been working with all these grapplers, like for example, Pumi Kun has been very helpful with me. The
Oh, I was just throwing that name
wrestling.
out there. Oh my gosh, shout outs to Puma. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I've been seeking advice from him to help with like cage wrestling, pressure, all those things. So, and then I also relatively recently was working with Jason Rao a little bit, just for on the floor. Just got to hit all the areas. MMA, it's stand up in the clinch against the cage on the floor. Just got to be ready to have like even just a I wouldn't say baseline, but sufficient enough in all areas. And I've definitely been doing that over the since the last fight, just trying to target each area, and like wherever the fight goes, I'll be ready to entertain wherever area it is.
I was gonna say, man, that's a very professional way to look at it. You're talented in all areas. You know that you're not at black belt in every single skill. There's an addictive um chase it aspect to it that you can never fill every category. Maybe
Mm,
by the time we're all 70 years old, we'll be able to like figure out this whole thing called
mm,
MMA.
mm,
Very professional way you carry yourself.
mm,
Is that the goal, to be a pro? Because I think you're leaps and bounds ahead of a 22-year-old, a 27-year-old. Because there's some pros that you've heard horror stories that even though they have a performance of the night on the UFC, the biggest stage, mixed martial arts stage in the world, they still carry themselves like a high schooler outside
mm.
of fights, like blow up balloon in between fights. I think you have a professional career. I mean, we'll talk about Philip Nover. I mean, that guy was like he pushed himself, his potential beautifully.
Mm.
How far do you want to push yourself?
I'm gonna push myself as far as I can go. Like the way I'm training as if like I'm trying to make it to the UFC, but at the same time, life is like the theme is kind of it's always
It's always challenging, brother.
always challenging. Things happen, injuries, life situations. So with that aspect, I'll take one fight at a time. But the way I'm training is like if I'm training, I'm following what the pros do. What I see the guys at Sarah at Law MMA, what I see, I follow because the cream of the crop, and I'll train just like them to hopefully achieve the highest goal. Or even if like I don't achieve, I know I did as much as I could and did it the right way, and that's how I think. But the way I train right now is like as if I was trying to go for the world title. But
Let's go.
at the same time, just taking one fight at a time because life is crazy.
It's true.
Eh,
It is true. It's a good way to look at it. It's also a good way to dream. I feel like an amateur title could be in your very near future. No doubt about it. That'd be freaking cool for your kids, for your nieces, nephews, cousins. Like, you could walk around the family barbecue, or you could walk around the mall. I feel like you're a great person, man. And it's like you have that like that really really beautiful aura about you, like always smiling. Does that get exhausting, or is it's just it comes with the territory because you set the standard, man. You're a good guy. Every time I see you, like I want to talk to you, want to say what's up, want to see what's going on, and you always give attention. You're always present, and it's very rare. Um, so yeah, just keep being humble, man. I really respect you on a human to human level.
I appreciate it. Thank you for sure, definitely.
Have you met Philip Nover?
No, I haven't met him, but it's ironic because I do have him as a Facebook friend back like when Facebook, like I guess the Facebook era.
Facebook, I've heard of that.
It's, Facebook it's for old people now. The people would just accept requests, so we actually had him as a Facebook friend because the Filipino circle in New York is small, and the nurse circle is also small. So apparently, my one of my cousin's friends dated Philippe Nover back in the day. So there's that chain, and then obviously the MMA circle. So when I first saw him on the Tough Eight, season 8, and I was like, "Oh, that guy's Filipino. He's from New York, and oh, he's fighting." And then he obviously on the show he said he was a nurse, and that's where I first got the idea, the kind of first planted. So I ended up adding him on Facebook, and when I was having ideas about doing what I'm currently doing, I actually messaged him on Facebook Messenger, and he actually gave me a very detailed response.
Wow.
Yeah, like a detailed response. Like he could have just said, "Oh yeah, good
Who
luck,"
dis?
but he had a very detailed response, and it was only one or two messages, not a lot, but with that response, it was very helpful for me where I'm at right now. And he's trained at with us at Cerro Longo back in the day. Think he's trained with Manimal, but that was before I started training. But yeah, when I saw him on Ultimate Fighter, I was like, that's planted the seed.
Incredible. You try to do that if like give your time 100%. It can be tedious, but it's like you see the impact that Philip had on you.
Mm. You mean like as in like
Yeah,
train?
like as a role model, have you gone out of your way? Have you noticed young kids or coworker like, um, dude, I'm they got to see you as like an action figure, like a superhero. Like
I think when I think
if
about
they're
it,
not seeking your advice, they're making a mistake, in my opinion.
but definitely like I've seen like like people have been asking me questions about like a lot of multiple things, and like some of the younger kids or and I guess you're right, they are maybe seeing it, and I always like to offer help. That's something I just like to do, and there's too much negativity in the world, so you just gotta give positive because there's too much negative, and then just try to make it a better world in a way because there's just too many bad stuff happening. So that's how I think. I just try not to have negative vibes, no tension, just help people.
And what a freaking what a career and versus a hobby. It's like you get to heal people, and then your goal is to smash people.
Yeah, it's like
You could actually be after you beat somebody up. You could be the first person on the scene. Like, hey, are you with me? Can you hear me? What's your heartbeat? Like,
yeah, people be joking about that too. It's like they'll say the same thing. It's like I'll see them in the ER, but I don't work in the ER.
oh man. Were you involved with the craziness with the pandemic? Like, were you certified yet, or
Oh, I was working in the midst of all of it.
oh my god.
Yeah, it was
So was Philip. I heard he was in a Brooklyn hospital, right? If I'm
yeah. I think MMA fighting at the time did an interview with him about the pandemic at the peak of the pandemic. It was rough, I'll tell you. It was rough. Probably the hardest time in my nursing career. And
wow.
A lot of what happened during that year, peak 2020, kind of put me in the perspective of where I am now because well, I saw all the death. Like there's unfortunately three members of my family passed away in that time, and it got me thinking like life is too short, and you gotta kind of go for things before it might be too late, or you might not even get the chance. So I actually only work part time now, as a nurse. I know, just to help kind of give me more time to train MMA because MMA you there's so many avenues you need to be striking, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, you need your strength and conditioning, and to allow me to give myself more time to focus in those areas while also not compromising my career and my financial stability. I opted to go part-time and put as much time possible I could into training, and that's where I'm at right now.
That's a big deal. That's putting the chips in the middle of the table. Wow. You're betting on yourself, and I love it because you're not going to look back in 10 years and say shoulda, woulda, coulda. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, it's like the when I think about like when in the future you don't want to look back and regret like you said what I should have could have or maybe if I did this what could have happened. And I want all questions answered, like leaving no doubt behind. And when it's all said and done, I you could say like I did or I did everything I could to make it happen, and that's how I want to live in my head in the future.
Beautiful. That's the soundbite.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man. Have you seen the movie? I just seen it recently. Somebody referred it to me. It's on Amazon. Everywhere, everyone, all at once, something like that. Have you heard
Oh,
about it?
yeah,
Did
that
you
won
see
the
it?
Oscar.
Yeah, I
The
was
best
like,
picture.
usually I'm on top of the Oscar movies, Parasite or
Yeah.
1917 or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or usually I'm on top of it. I was like, thanks for the referral. I saw it. Awesome movie. But
Yes, I
there's a
have seen that.
it stuck with me when it's like they show like the life choices as like a branch system. This decision splits and then it leads to this decision, and it goes like you can like stagger your life and change your life completely from different decisions.
Mm,
You have chosen a path by going part-time,
mm.
and that is what I call like putting things in the universe. Like you are opening this pathway and you are walking this pathway. So as you said, like if you really want to, you can be a pro man. LFA, CFFC, CES, ROC. It's like you are talented, you have the drive, and no offense to Volkanovski, but I heard that he was drinking every single day before the Islam short notice fight. I heard that Nate Diaz was drinking before the Conor McGregor fill-in fight. Michael Bisping was on set. He said he was just lifting weights, but he was drinking. And some of those, before the Luke Rockhold fill in late, some of those paid off. Some of those didn't. I believe you're taking control of your life. You're not a big party. You're not a drinker. You're not doing recreational drugs. You're not doing any drugs. I respect it, man. So it's literally you're turning over every stone to make this dream come true, and I respect that.
And much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
Is that how you see it? Like for me to train and try to do stuff that like I don't want to regret. No more smoking, no more drinking. It's almost 3 years now, and it's like,
Mm.
you know, it may be tough. You may be in the bubble and not seeing the benefits, but it's like, oh, I can bounce back from recovery. Oh, I can train a little more. Oh, I have a little more energy for this. Like, are you are your sacrifices paying off?
I think so, and uh, just trying to put myself in an optimal like situation. The and I think I definitely I'm seeking the benefits. Like I'm not super young, I'm not too old, but it's funny, like, a lot of people, they joke around when they hit 30, like, "Oh, I'm out of shape," or but I feel like
Yeah, but I know
in my
25-year-olds who
20s,
are like 40-year-olds.
like,
Like,
I feel youthful. I hang I with the young kids I'm training with, they all think I'm 24. So I think it is like benefiting for sure, all the sacrifices, and to answer your question.
incredible, incredible. Again, this Saturday, February 24th, Stereo Garden, my stomping ground as a young single idiot. Patchogue, New York. It's going to be amazing. Flex Fight Series puts on a heck of a show. I've never been to Duke Stadium to watch Duke basketball, but they always say, and you can see it a little on TV, that the crowd feels like it's on top of the court. That is exactly what it is at Stereo Garden. It is intense atmosphere, modern day gladiators, local gladiators. The been waiting for this type of like promotion locally with Lou Neglia's, Bobby Campbell's, Nick Canobio's, and Chris Machi's Flex Fight Series. The competition is rising. It's literally an incredible time. We may get an Adrian crossover fight against the champion in another league. Oh my God, there's so many possibilities. I'm happy for you, my brother. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Uh, so shout out to all the guys as Sarah Longo, uh, the all the coaches that definitely have been helping out. Like I probably even have a list. Just of course Matt Sarah, Ray Longo. Let's see. Actually, I made a list, but actually early.
Oh my God, this is incredible.
Of course, you gotta go Sarah Longo. You always remember from the top of that. Steve Lee, Johnny Salmon, Harold Colombo, Mike Sullivan, the Palacino, Tom Beethoven, Fumi Nakuna, Brandon Morgan, Ricky Stam, Jason Rao, Matt Favola. Shout out to Long Island Stretch Institute, Dr. Scott Lipson and Dr. Nicholas Giliberti been helping me with my keeping me healthy for the fight. All the
Can you
aches and
touch your
pains.
toes now?
I love they touch my toes actually when I did think but that's a short list right there. And
What are we rocking any sponsors? Hat, gear, apparel?
no sponsors for this fight. This I'm just one
You
goal,
heard
one
it. You
goal.
heard it, folks. Free agent.
Yeah.
Let's get him sponsored for the next time out when he's challenging for a title. Let's go,
Oh.
Adrian. Oh my God. Are you tired of the Rocky references with Adrian?
No, I actually never get tired of it. It's right that it's one of the ways to get people to remember my name is we've seen Rocky. I feel like 90% of the population has seen it, and it's like, oh, you're Adrian. It's like, oh, it works. Actually, ironic because I actually don't have a fight nickname. With When I was at the Long Island Stretch Institute, Dr. Nick Giliberti, he was thinking about some nicknames. He had a great idea. Just put Yo Adrian.
That's it.
That's it. So I'm gonna roll with that.
Let's go. Is
Very
it yo
simple.
or ayo? Now I have to hear it.
As Yo.
Now I don't know. I'm very let's see. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Let's see. What would it be? Rocky, Adrian. I'm not gonna bias to anything. Let's see what it says. This okay. I love you. Can you hear that?
A little bit, yeah.
Come on, get there already.
It's, actually, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, probably the yo is right. Okay. Was that coming through that sound?
No, I wasn't. It was like,
What?
oh, I'm just watching the scene
Oh
without
my
no audio.
gosh. All right. All I think he said yo. I think you're right. There is no Ayo. Ayo is just a Ronkonkoma thing. Oh my gosh. What else, brother? What else? I know it's fight week. I know you probably gotta go run 10 miles right now, do hill sprints. You're shining, man. Maybe it's the light, maybe it's your aura.
Either or. But definitely gotta shout out Tom Fitzsimmons, also fighting on the card.
Yes.
Got fighting for a amateur belt. His first time fighting for that. He's been one of the better training partners I've had. Young kid, eager to learn and just put in the work. And I'm excited for him because we're riding this together. So definitely shout out Tom Fitzsimmons fighting also on the card.
Incredible. Incredible. All right. Well, Adrian Del Rosario on Instagram at ADR_NY. This Saturday, February 24th, Stereo Garden, Patchogue, New York, Flex Fight Series, Nick Canobio, Chris Mache. Incredible event. Can't wait for it. Shout outs to everybody who's competing on there. It's a great event. Adrian, I really appreciate the time, and I look forward to you having your hand raised this Saturday. You've worked hard. You are a consummate professional inside and outside of the cage, my brother. Good fortune to you, and can't wait to see you get the job done.
Likewise, and appreciate you having me on for the opportunity, the platform, and you're definitely doing great at this.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Tell my wife that. Talk to you later, brother. Peace.
Peace.